going to help improve on your health. And I'm going to mention them. One is that you need to eat well. You need to focus on eating a healthy diet. Most of these junk foods we have won't help you. So eat more fruits and vegetables. Eat more of plant products and not animal products. And even if you eat animal products, it's good to go for more of fish products than typical animal products. This will help you. And also you need to rest. You need to exercise. Then you also need to drink lots of water as a young person. Take time off and rest. And also engage in some social activities that is going to help you relax and also develop a positive attitude towards life. You need to develop a positive attitude towards life as a young person. As a young person, if you don't take good care of your health, it is going to affect your life later on. One, you will not be productive later on because illnesses would prevent you from becoming productive. There is something we call presenteeism when it comes to mental health issues, that there are people who are at work, but they are not effective because they're struggling with some form of illness, especially mental illnesses. The second is that you cannot achieve your goals if you are unwell. You would also not be able to maximize your resources whilst you get older because you will not be unwell. You'll be unwell. The next is that as a young person, if you don't take good care of your health, you would spend all the money you're making now on your health, dealing with some health issue when you grow old. And we've also noticed that people die younger because of health-related issues. You need to take good care of your health. To do that as a young person, there are things that you need to start practicing to become your style of life. When you do that, it is going to maximize your health later on. Some of these healthy lifestyles would help improve your health as you grow older. The first is that you need to eat well. Eat more of plant products and less of animal products. You need to eat a balanced diet and less of junk foods. You need to also exercise. You need to find time to rest. There are some of us who have goals that we want to achieve in a short time, and because of that, we are not resting. You need to rest. Those who rest do not age quickly. Their health is preserved better if they rest. You need to find time to also network with people who are positive and would help you develop yourself, because a positive attitude towards life would help maximize your mental well-being. You need to also avoid illicit sexual practices. Avoid alcohol and smoking. You don't need alcohol. Smoking will damage your health. Almost about 200 diseases, more than 200 diseases, are caused by alcohol or smoking. You need to avoid alcohol or smoking. You also need to pray and meditate. Prayer and meditation has been shown to help improve on people's health significantly. You need to have regular medical checkup. As a young person, pass to the hospital once in a while to find out what is happening in your body. And also, you need to comply with medications. When you go to the hospital, whatever you're told to do, you need to comply with them because they know why they're telling you what you need to do. You also need to seek help early. If you have any health issues, do not delay. There are a lot of people who delay until things become worse or become an emergency. Then they rush to the hospital. It may be too late. You need to comply with medications and also seek help early. Some of these things are going to help you maximize your health and preserve your health as you grow older. My name is Dr. Isaac Manatha, and I want you to remember that your lifestyle today will determine your health later. Thank you.
Yes, your lifestyle today will determine your future, and that is Dr. Newman Arthur. Now, as he spoke, you could hear him so passionate. Now, that's what he does. He's a general medical practitioner and clinical health psychologist. He's passionate, of course, about promoting mental health, especially, and helping young people discover and pursue their God-given purposes. Please He's not here, but he can feel us in spirit. A round of applause for him again. Thank you. So first presentation done. We are going on to the next one. But I'm pretty sure you have questions, you have comments, you want to make contributions. Please do so via the Springboard WhatsApp hotline. And the number again is 024 99 99 555. 024 99 99 555. You first type your name, for example, Ebenezer, Kumasi, and you add your message, then you send it, okay? Now, our next speaker actually is an interior architect with noteworthy experience and expertise in the UK. Maybe let me use how they normally say in the UK and Ghanaian construction industry. She returned to Ghana in 2009 to set up her own design consultancy after studying and working in the USA and UK for 20 years. Now her works spans projects within the private, residential, hospitality, corporate sectors for clients such as the Abraj Group, PwC, Stella Lodge, and Champ Sports Lounge, just to name a few. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is Joanna Kwakwa. She is a design architect. Please, a round of applause for her. Please, you can do better. Come on. Please go until she gets here. I want to hear the loudest applause ever. Yes. Thank you very much and welcome.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Afternoon. It's a nice, hot, balmy afternoon. I'm glad you're all here. You notice I've got a jigsaw puzzle up there with a scene looking out into the green pastures. 30 years ago, I was probably where most of you are now, leaving high school. The world was my oyster, and I was thinking of all the things I wanted to do to conquer the world. Can you hear me from the back? Everyone can hear me clearly? Okay. So I was leaving high school, excited about what the world had to offer. And I left here and went to the US for my first degree in art, fine art. And after that, a few years later, I moved back to the UK to do my second degree. And we never had access to a program like this that you have. So I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am that Springboard is putting something together like this for you. I usually don't tell people what to do because I can only speak from my experience. And I appreciate that we all come from different backgrounds, different circumstances, and have our own different expectations. So what I would do through this presentation, most of the time, will be to refer to my experience, okay? So, it's a hot... Okay, sorry, let me figure this out. Why are we here? Like I said, it's a hot Saturday afternoon. There's so many things we all could be doing. So I'll ask you, for instance, with you, what could you be doing? You could be chilling on the beach right now. It's the right kind of temperature for that, isn't it? Or you could be somewhere, barbecue grill, chewing some meat, isn't it? But you're here. So I'm guessing by you being here, you're worried about your future, or you're at least interested in something to do with planning for your future. Most of the time, we think our finances are the key to it. So money is what's on our mind. How do we become financially successful? And go from there. Now, for me, I'm here for two things. First thing, I came to deliver a message to you. And two, I came to add to your toolbox. Because the way I see it, Springboard is equipping you with a toolbox of things that you're going to walk away from that will take you on your journey. Whatever stage you're at now, there's going to be something in that toolbox you will keep dipping into to help you. So I'm coming to add my piece to your toolbox. That's what I'm here for. So my message to you is this. 1, your success is critical to our collective future. So your sitting here today is not about you. It's not just about your success, because for our future to work, you have to be successful. And that's how important your pieces of the puzzle are. I need you to understand this. So by you being here today, I would ask you to engage consciously. This is not the sort of thing where you need to just take notes and then go and put the book away. But engage with come with a mindset of taking something that when you leave here tonight, you can start applying. So listen to every speaker with that intention. What am I going to use from what this person is telling me today? And look for that in everything that's being said. And I say that not only are you critical to our collective future, but in order for us to enjoy what we call success, true success, which is what I call sweet success, is when you get beyond the basics. We have to get to a point where we've built our self-esteem to a certain level. We have a sense of connection. We have that freedom to be creative, right? And we have a sense of self-fulfillment. And we can now think about morality. That's when we get to the peak of success, where we can actually begin to enjoy and engage in these sorts of issues. But in order to do that, we've got to handle the basics. Okay? And this is where we are right now. And by basics, I mean food. You've got to be able to fend for yourself. Where is your next meal going to come from? Food, water, shelter. These are the basics that we all need. So until your belly is full and you have somewhere to rest your head and not worry about where you're going to sleep tomorrow, you can't really move to the next level. So what we're doing here today is to equip you to handle the basics so that then we can move to the highest levels of success. Are you with me? Yes? Okay, good. I see some nodding heads. And there's rest and security. These are the basic things everybody needs. You need your food, you need your water, you need your shelter. You need to feel secure, and you need to have peace of mind to be able to rest. And that's what we're trying to do. Let's get the basics here, and then from there we can progress to the next level. Okay. So, why do you and your success matter? And by you, I'm talking about you as the youth that I'm saying are critical to our future. Why do you matter? Right now, it's so easy for everyone to talk about how entitled the youth feel, how lazy the youth are, all the negative things. Oh, the youth are too this, the youth are too that. It happens in every generation. We had it our time as well. And sometimes it's easy to feel like you're not being understood. But I want us to put things in perspective. What you actually represent is vitality. Because when you have young people, you have energy, right? You've got life in the system. Any system that has young people or youth in it is vital. And when you have young people and you have vitality, you have the opportunity for innovation. That's what you represent. So everything I'm saying here is what you represent. You also represent second chances. For the things that the people before you weren't able to correct, we have a second chance to try and correct it. That's what you represent, second chances. You represent continuity and progression in the sense that when the current generation leaves, you are the ones that are going to carry the baton. And that's why I keep talking about how critical you are to the future. And above all, you represent hope. So those are the things that you need to begin associating yourselves with. These are the kind of words. Forget what everybody else is saying, because at the core of it, this is what you are. You're about vitality, innovation, second chances, continuity and progression for everyone. Okay. So now we're going into your toolbox. The big puzzle about life. Like I said, it's all about a puzzle. We're starting out now. Everybody's going to go on their respective paths. But one of the things I've observed in my time with the work that I do as an interior architect, I tend to have to do a lot of consultation with my clients. And it's the kind of consultation where I need to understand how they live and how they use their spaces, because my focus is on the interior space. So when it comes to space planning, I need to understand the psychology of the people living in the space and how that space is going to influence their behavior. And in order for me to come up with a good result for you, I have to understand what your needs are, what makes you happy in your space, what makes you comfortable. So in doing that, I'm always observing people. I go into different families. By the time I'm done with a project after 2 years, I'm part of the family, because I have to get to know you so intimately. I know about your master bedroom. I know about your children's rooms. I know about your family areas. I know about your behavior patterns within the family. Is the kitchen the most important part for this family? Is it the living room? Is it outdoors? Is it the garden, the swimming pool? All those sort of things. And I'm saying that to say this. Over the years, I've noticed certain repetitive patterns that are common everywhere, and even more so since I came back in the last 10 years, that you see every family where in the beginning you've got young families, young couple doing well professionally, children just having babies, the children are growing, the children go through school, preschool, primary school, secondary. So each time you see them, the children are growing. I've actually been in places where the baby's just been born as I started the project. Years go by, and then I go and he's talking and chit-chatting and laughing and dancing and everything, like a big man. But I remember when the baby was born. That's how long I've been with the family. But you go through this whole cycle. Gets to a point, they go to secondary school. Then after that, they're going to go to university. And as they're doing this, the parents are getting older. They're living in the same house. There aren't too many people that would build more than once. Not all of us have that opportunity. So most people who will buy or build a house may be in one until the children grow up and leave, yeah? So there's a cycle that I've observed, and this is how it is. Right now, we're all busy juggling work, family, and our social lives. And there seems to be an endless race to acquire. It's the next car. I need to get a car. Okay, you've got a car. Now I need to get a house. Okay, we've got a house now. What do we need to do? We need to go on holiday. So is that pressure? As the doctor was saying before, those are the things that create all those diseases and the mental issues because of the pressure we find ourselves under. So with all this, I say, this is how I see the cycle boiling down. It boils down to two things. There's a three-stage cycle that I can summarize. The first part of the cycle is children being dependent on their parents. Then we have that sweet spot of independence where the children are independent, they've left home. The parents are also enjoying their prime time because the children are either in university or just starting out. So it's the sweet space of independence for both parties. And then the cycle turns where the parents are now dependent on the children. That's the cycle that we're seeing. And with that three-stage cycle, we all have our individual cycles. And somehow or other, our individual cycles are going to fit into this cycle. So where you're going through your education, your career, your family, whatever stage you're at some point, it's going to fit into this cycle. So bear the cycle in mind on the left, the three-stage cycle, where you start off being dependent on your parents, you move on, become independent, and then it ends with your parents being dependent on you. That's the most important cycle you have to bear in mind now with any decision you're making, to understand the context and where you fit right now or what's going on in your life, okay? So you've got your life goals, and one of them is about a property hurdle. Now, how you fit this property thing into your whole life goal can either be a minefield, as in bombs everywhere going off, or it can be a sweet bed of roses. And this is what I'm here to talk about. How do we make this a sweet bed of roses and avoid a minefield? So, we talk about property. When we talk about acquiring property, it's for two purposes. You're either going to want your property for a home, or you're going to want it as an investment, right? Depending on what stage you're at. But most of us will start out wanting to acquire property or build our property because we want our own home, okay? So now let's look at property. And this is how I see it. It all boils down to this. When you talk about home, at its very barest, what does home symbolize? It symbolizes shelter, security, a family base, and whatever personal meaning you attach to it. So for some people, it may be a sense of accomplishment, it may be a prestigious thing, but everyone has their meaning that they attach to that. The first three, shelter, security, those are the core elements of it. When you think of an investment property, you're going to look at income, something that retains value or appreciates in value, and something that pays for itself, and again, your personal meaning to it. So ask yourself, at any given stage, what stage of the life cycle am I at? The one that I told you about, those 3 cycles, those 3 steps. Am I looking for a home or an investment? And what are my current priorities? And what is my legacy and succession plan for this property going to be? I see so many properties now that were built in their prime, big buildings. The children are all abroad now. They are not interested in coming back, and no one knows what to do with the building. Or if they do come back, they are not interested, they don't like the style of the building, they want to build their own. So factor your succession plan into it. Okay, so whether you're looking for a home or an investment, there are certain common considerations. 1, you should ask yourself, what is my budget? 2, what is my timeline? Am I looking to do this within a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Because if you don't have a timeline, then it's just a dream. And what is the projected length of stay in this building or use? If I'm going to invest, how long do I want to hold on to this property and as an investment? If I'm going to live here and I'm just starting out my family, am I going to be here until the children move to university, or am I going to stay here until retirement? Because being clear on your projected length of stay will help you make the decision on the right building to get. And finally, again, what is my succession plan? Then the next question is, am I going to build or am I going to buy? What is your strategy for that? Now, the first thing you need to do, I always say you start by planning and researching. And by planning, what I mean is plan your essentials for the home. What are the things that you've absolutely got to have in the ideal home? And what are your investment priorities? If I'm buying an investment property, what is most important to me about it? And then after that, you're going to put together a team. Whether you're building or purchasing, you need to put a team of professionals together. So for instance, with your home essentials, what's important in terms of location, your space requirements, and how this is going to help you transition to your next stage. And with investment priorities, what is your target market? Again, location based on that target market, and how long is it going to take you to make your return on investment? And based on that, you're going to put your team together. Now, with your build team, you'll look at architects, interior architects, structural engineers, MEP consultants, quantity surveyors. When you come to purchasing again, you'll include your finance, legal, if you're acquiring a mortgage. That's all part of it, okay? And then avoiding the minefield. One thing I always say is engage the professionals to do what they're trained to do. And by that I mean, don't get a draftsman to do what an architect went to school 8 years for. A draftsman has his specialty for a reason. It doesn't mean he's any less, but you wouldn't get a nurse to do what a surgeon is trained to do. The nurse has her place, and she has her specialty. When you go to the nurses, there are different degrees, and even with surgeons, everybody has a specialty. So please, this is a big one. Do not think a draftsman can do what an architect went to school 8 years to do, okay? And one of the things I find here, we all know this, in Ghana, you've got to verify legal ownership of the land, whether you are buying or building. Obtain permits before going to site, not after for them to come and say stop work. Okay? People think, oh, I'll write stop work on the wall myself, and then if they come, peace of mind, get the permits before. And pay attention to building regulations about simple things, the distance that a building should be from the wall, the distance the building should be from the road, the middle of the street, the kind of drains you need to have, all those things. There's a reason for that, okay? And, sorry, does it meet all your, okay. One thing you have to think about as well is to consider the maintenance and running costs of the design of the building you're trying to put up. It may look nice, flashy, great, everybody thinks it's nice. Your electricity bill is going to be high because your ACs have to be on the whole time. Your garden is too big, so you have to pay a gardener to come every time. Sweeping the yard when the house help is gone is going to be a problem. So consider your maintenance and running costs. And also, most important, does it meet all your listed requirements? Because at the beginning, when you were doing your planning and research, you had a list of needs and essentials, must-haves. Does this building have that? Because it's easy to go and get distracted. You go and the house has a swimming pool, but a swimming pool wasn't a must-have. It was a nice-to-have. And then that distracts you. Does it factor in the later stages of your cycle? That transition I'm talking about, when you move now from your family stage to retirement. If you do a 3-story building and your master bedroom is upstairs, when you're 50, will you want to be going 3 flights up? I have that now where clients design a master bedroom downstairs for a guest room downstairs that will convert to a master bedroom later. So those are things you need to be thinking about if you're building. And those are things you should even be thinking about if you know you're going to buy and live in the property for a long time. Again, if you're buying, you've got to verify legal ownership, location, location, location. How many of us know people who've bought or built a house in an area that is too far? The children have to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to school, come back tired, have to do homework, sleep a few hours, wake up again and go, right? And again, your maintenance and management of an investment property, you're either going to have a management company doing it, which is also going to run your fees up. And does it meet all your listed needs and essentials, and does it fit into your succession plan? So, ultimately, this is what I say it boils down to. 1, consider your individual and family goals. And something as simple as, will your children study here or abroad? And if they study abroad, will they return? And what happens when you retire? And you eventually retire, what happens afterwards? Is this a building whose use can be converted later into offices or something, or converted into apartments? You've got to think about the adaptability of the building that you're putting up now. Because if you go around Airport Residential, Laboni, Cantonments, all those areas, we see in Accra, we see all these. I'm not from Kumasi, so I don't know the areas here, sorry. I'm talking about Accra. So you see all these buildings that were nice white boxes in the prime of their time, and now they are sitting there decrepit because the children are abroad and can't be bothered, and somebody has to find something to do with it, okay? And one thing I also say is this: no man or woman is an island. And by that, what I mean is this: we've all got our little puzzles of our lives going on. We've all got our cycles going on. But all our cycles are interrelated and they overlap. So my cycle is not independent, and I'm not going to go all the way to the end without contact with anyone else around me. So with that in mind, consider the impact of your choices on other people and the environment. A lot of times you'll find people that come to a neighborhood, they build, they don't care how it affects the next person. They haven't got a drain, fine. That person has a drain, the water will go and stay at the end of the road, it's not their problem. But this is how we build community spirit. If you're conscious of the impact that your choices are making on the people around you, then ultimately we all get to enjoy. So finally, I'll close on this. All of this that we're doing here will mean nothing if we lose sight of our common humanity and the pursuit of our goals and happiness. So it's not just about the goals, and it's not just about our aspirations, but at the core of it, let's remember that we're human beings, we're linked, and our choices have to consider the impact on everyone else. Thank you. I went over.
Please, a round of applause for her. Very, very insightful. Please keep doing it till she gets to her seat. You know, in the UK, that's how they do it. Please keep doing it till she gets to her seat. Thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon. Very insightful. I know there are a lot of young people out here who might say, oh, okay, for me, properties there, I'm now in school, I don't have money. But these are basic things that you need to listen to and pay attention to. Now, she made mention of a situation where people build houses and they have the master's bedroom at the top. I know people personally. Now, they can't use the top. They have to settle downstairs. I mean, these are rooms that they didn't prepare for themselves. They can't climb up. Their children have all left the country. Whenever they come back, they don't want to live in that property again. Because I had that. Do you get it? So there are things we need to consider when we want to own properties. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody has this coupon, right? Do you have the Wow Moment coupon? Please, do we all have it? Have you all filled them as well? If you've not filled it, please do so now. I'm giving you some 30 seconds. Please fill it right now. You could win something before we leave here. So please fill it. If you don't have it, please raise your hand up as the ushers will come to you. Who doesn't have it? Oh, you're all very good people. Nice. All right, so you can still contribute with your messages, and this is how you do. We are doing it through the Springboard WhatsApp hotline. That's 024 555 024 555. First, you type your name, then Kumasi, which is where we are, and then your message, you send it. Whether it's a question or whatever, we are going to take it and then go on with it. Now, there are people amongst us who were here last year. They were participants just like you are today. Some of them have gone on to actually excel in their businesses. They met great people, and today they have success stories to share. This morning, I would love to invite Matilda. Please, a round of applause for Matilda. Please do it. Let's encourage her. Matilda. Yes. You can see the excitement on her face, right? Yes. Oh, please clap for her. Thank you very much. So Matilda is going to share with her a story of what she's experienced from Springboard and what she is up to today.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to all of you. I still feel joy. It's like I'm still in 2019, the day I won. I want to thank everybody, especially Springboard Show, for the opportunity they gave me last year and even as at now. Actually, I didn't plan to contest last year. Just within 1 week, then I thought of contesting. I said, okay, why not try? But then the second question was that you don't have a machine. You don't have anything that you can use for this contest. How will you do it? So I gave up. But then some few days to the contest, I decided that I will. So I went to a colleague who was also a student, and then she was into fashion and design. And I said, borrow me your machine. I want to use it for something. So she thought I was joking. I said, I'm serious. Give me the machine. She said, oh, part of it is spoiled, and then when you are sewing the hand, I said, just give it to me. So I took the machine, came, and then contested, and then won. So from the money that I had, I bought my machine and bought whatever I needed to use for the sewing. And then I bought some materials. I am not still good in it, so I bought some materials, and then I used that as practice. So I've been practicing since then, and then this is one of the things that I have sewed. Thank you very much, and best of luck to the contestants. Thank you.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, at times when we hear people tell us their stories, we feel they are too far from us and we can't do it and we can't achieve it. But she's just one of us and she's doing it. Congratulations once again to her. Now, we have another young man who is in the process. He is doing something amazing as well. And he's going to share with us why he chose the path he chose and what he is doing right now, just to inspire all of us. But for those who just came in, I'd like to tell you that you can actually communicate with all those who are not here so they're able to watch. They can get on Facebook. and then share the links so that people can also watch. So on Facebook, it is Albert N.E. Okran, okay? Albert N.E. Okran, and then Comfort Okran A. Please search for that on Facebook. There's a video stream there. Just share it so that others who are not here can also benefit from it. So please, a round of applause. Let's invite our brother, Luri Habib, as he also shares with us a very amazing story on what he is doing. Oh, please, clap for him. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Please, my name is Shaibu Luri Habibullah, a fourth-year economic student, KNUST. I'm supposed to compress a whole big story into a smaller one within a period of just 2 minutes. Please, I started KNUST at a time that I couldn't even rent a place to stay. I couldn't do anything. Very hungry that I have to start cutting wood. This is to those of us who have even 1,500 and they can't start any business. So I have to start to cut wood because that was what I could do at that time. So I was looking for 100 cedis to start a business. I couldn't. So I had to start cutting wood in KNUST. Cut, go and sell. Cut, go and sell till I was able to raise 70 cedis. Where I started in a short, to make it short, I started with Annie because I was a hunter back at the north. So I started with my Annie business, small. I wanted the land to farm at KNUST. The school offered me money instead of the land. I said, either you take money or you forget the land. And there was a big land there. I said, it's either the land or I don't need the money. So I had to go away. And today, as I'm speaking to you, brothers and sisters, land was my problem in South here. Today, I have over 350 acres of land in only Ashanti region. And from that time I started to today, I have sold more than 500 goods from my own self. Those I have read. And I have supplied Annie to almost every lecture in KNUST and beyond. So that is how I started, from wood cutting, and today I have built a company, a whole big company. There are 3 companies actually under me. We have Luri Afinfuwe, an associate company limited into general agric. We have Modo Fashions, which I am part of them. Then we have a confirmed boutique, all under Luri, which I started with just nothing when I came to KNUST. I think that is the short story I have to share. Thank you very much for your time.
A round of applause for him. Wow. I mean, he was determined, right? He knew what he wanted. He said, it's either you give me the land, I don't want your money. How many of us could have actually stood that? How many of us? Charlie, money or cash? Take the money. We can't give you the land. He says, no, keep your money if you are not giving me the land. And today, as he tells you, he has several acres of land, sold several sheep, right? Sheep, goat, cattle. Wow. I confirm. Interesting. That's amazing. Please, if you are here, you want to win in our wow moment, I would want you to pick up your phone right now and download the UMB Speed app. Please download the UMB Speed app right now and then install it. Again, you may also want to download Enterprise Advantage and then install it, because that guarantees you, or that puts you into our competition, so you're able to win in the wow moment. Now we have our mom. Hello? I said we have our mom. Did you hear that? You see, if it was in the church, you'd have shouted, whoa! So why am I not hearing that? We have our mom. Can I hear you make some noise? Okay. Now, to introduce her, I mean, I'm not fit for that. So I want to invite my big sister, now Claude Odonko, who has been in the media industry for a long time now. She's my big sister, now Claude Odonko, to do the introduction for our next speaker.
Thank you very much, my brother NY DJ. It's now Claude Fritzel Aben. I love the fancy surname. Okay, so if you just walked in a Springboard Roadshow 2020 live from the CCC Auditorium, we say thank you so much for joining us for this year's Springboard Roadshow. Don't forget that you can win big in our wow moment. So all you have to do is just download and install the Enterprise and UMB mobile app onto your mobile phone so you can win big. At Springboard, we don't play, we inspire, we motivate, we transform and impact life. And I'm excited that you've started your Confirm boutique. You should have brought us some Confirm for lunch. That would have been very nice. All right, so this year's team, we're talking about building ourselves, preparing ourselves for the future as far as our health is concerned, as far as our careers are concerned, and of course, the kind of choices we make that has to do with the properties that we would like to have in the future. And ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we're going to talk about our career. How prepared are you? To be able to stand the future, you need to be grounded as far as your career is concerned. And so, to do us the honors, and of course, do the presentation for us, our next presentation is no other person than my beloved mother, Comfort Okran, CEO of Legacy and Legacy. Comfort Okran is the CEO of Legacy and Legacy. She is the Executive Director of Springboard Roadshow Foundation. She is a Fellow of African Leadership Initiative, West Africa, and the Aspen Global Leadership Network. She's also a Fellow of the U.S. Department of State's International Visitors Leadership Program. Presently, she serves on the boards of the Bank of Ghana, Enterprise Life Assurance Company Limited, and the Ghana Institute of Literacy, Linguistics, and Bible Translation. She is a co-author of 26 books. Of course, we have some of the books at the stand, Snake and Ladders as well, and 1001 Ways to Make Your Life Better, Outstanding Life. So make sure that you get some of the books. These are just two of them that I have mentioned. She is the executive producer of Springboard, your virtual university, which runs weekly on Joy 99.7 FM. Ladies and gentlemen, please, with a big round of applause. Yes, a standing ovation for that matter. Please, let's welcome Comfort Okran.
Thank you so much, now, Claude, for that beautiful introduction. I mean, kindly take your seats. Thank you, take your seats. Being here once again is an honor, and having you being part of this program is more than we could even ask for. I have thought and dreamt about today, and I'm very glad that I can see my friend Auntie Salo right in front as usual. Auntie Salo. We've been doing this program from the north to the south for the past 11 years. And every year, Salome is there to give us another hand. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. It makes it happen, and we are grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Today we have, I believe we all have the, what do you call it? The personal development book. I'd like to thank, the workbook for us. Does everybody have one? Because my presentation is straight from here. Well, mine is straight from here. So if you don't have any, just lift up your hand. Somebody will bring a copy to you. We did this workbook basically to help us craft our minds. When Joanna started her brilliant presentation, I wish I had had that presentation when I was going to build my first house. And even now, I saw things there that it would guide me going forward. So those who were here for that, please take it very seriously. It was brilliant. But I like the fact that she started with asking us that what would we have been doing if we were not here, if we didn't have to be here? And telling ourselves that we are here because we want to develop ourselves personally. I believe we all share, or we all agree with that. And having that basis, let's go into this. This program, we hope that at the end of this program, we'll be able to first discover who the individual sitting in the chair with your paper is. You discover who you are. Discover that, or who you are in terms of your property dreams, or who you are in the terms of your career, or who you are in terms of your health, or who you are in terms of your finances, because all that make up you. The important thing too that you must have at the back of your minds is the fact that every single one of them is interconnected. So if you think that, well, I can just develop my career and leave my health, it will come to a time when you have a fantastic career, but you don't have the body to take care of that. In another sense, you may have the career, you may have the health, but God, where am I sleeping? So that is also important. Every single part plays a role, and they are all interwoven. Amen? So we are discovering, we are designing, we are shaping, putting our houses in shape. Whether you are going to say, okay, at this point, I need to go and discover, see if there's any land for me to even think about. How many years, the timeline that I'll need to put aside enough money to say I'm going to buy this land. One thing that some people do is to go and say to, in our culture, the land is vested in the chiefs of that place. So you go and say, Chief, I don't have the money, but I like a piece of your land. Please, can I put aside 50 cedis every month? I'll come and pay to you. So if you have that kind of frame in mind, it will help you. And then after you shape it, you also connect the dots. Okay. So when you come to our career, let's go to page 2 of our workbook. Page 2 of our workbook. Page 1 simply tells you about yourself. Who am I? So me, I wrote CEO Kran. I don't know what name you write in yours. What will you write in yours? So write in it. Whatever your name is, write your name. So that nobody will come and steal your book. This is your personal book. It's your personal workbook. So you write your name in it. And you have your greatest achievements so far. I hope you've filled that part already. If you haven't, think about yourself. What have I been able to accomplish so far? For some of us, those of us at the SHS level, I've finished SHS. Or maybe I know how to play the piano. Whatever your achievement is at that point, say it. If you have been able to reach your university, finish your first degree, and you're now doing your master's, so you write it. Or you are now, have just accomplished the fact that you got your first job and you got your first promotion. That's it. So write it there. And you are looking at your career. You're looking at your relationships. What do you have there? Are you married? You're not married. Do you have children? You don't have children. Do you have friends, good friends that would encourage you? So you write it there. And then, so that's your greatest achievements in life. Now, the very important one is in 10 years' time, what do I want to accomplish? 10 years from now, where am I going? And we are looking at 10 years from now in terms of your career, in terms of your finances, in terms of your relationships or your love, in terms of your health. One of the things that sometimes we forget is that part of our health is how physically we keep physically fit. Today, I was interested, or I was amused. In my old students platform, I saw a friend of mine who actually won the Sportswoman of the Year. It was a big achievement. The whole school, Sportswoman of the Year. And then I looked at her right now, and I'm like, she couldn't have won that. So you may have won, let's say, achievements so far, you may have won Sportswoman, but 10 years down the line, what are you going to do? So please, put down a progressive goal, a goal that would ensure that 10 years from now, you'll be better off from where you are presently. It's very key. So let's go to our personal development plan. So we are looking at our professional dream. What do we dream about? What do we hope to achieve in 10 years' time? So you have number 1, you have number 2, and you have number 3. So, for instance, in my personal life, I want to have increased the amount of. We have a two-pronged approach: a personal development front and a professional development front. So, personally, I would like to have achieved a certain goal in my personal life, and then professionally. So, for me, I would like to separate the two. The more precise you are, the better it is for you to be accomplished, enable you to accomplish that goal. So, what do you want to accomplish, and in which aspects? Be precise. As Bible says, write it down, make it plain. So that make it plain means be precise, concise. If you want to get your PhD in 10 years' time, write it there. I want to have accomplished my PhD in 10 years' time. So what would you like to accomplish in 10 years' time? Let's write it down. Professionally, personally, in my career. Now, as part of that, you remember we are shaping ourselves and then we are discovering ourselves. What makes me unique? In this case, what makes you unique? Yeah, the second question you have to ask yourself. What makes you unique? If you think about your life, what makes you unique? I mean, one of the things that I can tell Joanna is if I should go to any place that Joanna has worked in before, that place will have a touch of class. You saw the way she was looking. From head to toe. So that makes her unique. So what makes you, that you are sitting here, what makes you unique? And let's write that down. What makes me, I just write that this part of me makes me unique. Maybe, for instance, our lady, she has the talent she sews. But in addition, she's doing her master's. So here's somebody who has the ability to look at structures and at the same time translate that structure into something artistic. So what makes you unique? Maybe yours is being able to sell anything under the sun. I mean, if they give you this pair of glasses, which has been used for 100 years, and you are asked to sell it, you say that you are selling an antique product. And this antique product will enable you, you will wrap the person and the person, hey, what makes you unique? Write it down. What are the skills? What are my talents? What are my passion? Your skill is what you have been trained to do. Your passion is what you are interested in, or what makes you, when you do it, it gives you joy. Okay? Right? And then your talent is what is very basic to you. But you see, the talent that you have is a starting point. Discovering it and tooling it, or learning or reskilling it, makes it even sharper. So the talent is the basic one. The skill is the second level. The passion is what joins the hands and the heart together. Anything that you do implies you need to do it in an integral manner, in terms of having the head knowledge about how to get it done. How to be agreed that I need my passion or your heart to be there, and I need my hands as well. Okay? So what are my professional assets? Young people, some of you may not have realized what your professional assets are. You are now discovering what those professional assets are. You decide that, okay, I am a broadcast journalist, and therefore, in my profession, I need to have very good diction. I need to have certain basic qualifications, and therefore, do I have it? Do I need to acquire it? And you write that down. What do I have? What do I need to acquire as I go along? And then liabilities. Sometimes we just think about what we have and we forget that there are certain things that we don't have. Certain things that we need to either acquire or we need to get somebody to help us along the way. What are those things that will limit you? And therefore, how will we go around that? And we go that to the next stage. So, having discovered ourselves, now we are going to go to the shaping part. The first thing is that our first objective. What do we want to achieve? Objective 1, Objective 2, Objective 3. Are we there? If you say you want to accomplish to be win the Broadcast Journalist of the Year, what date do you want to win it? And you put the date there. The next one is that you want to Broadcast Journalist. What are some of your goals? To own my own station. That's an objective 2. 10 years is possible, isn't it? So what year do you want to do that? 5th year, 6th year, so you put a year there. So you know that you have 3 objectives and how will you accomplish those? Okay, so now let's go to page 3. Page 3. Okay. Right, so our career strategy. What do we need? Because it's very nice to have a nice goal, eh? But if you want to drive a car and you don't have a bicycle tie, they are 2 different things. So it's nice to think about it. Now we are going to see how we will get what we want to see, okay, to get. So what do we need? I remember many years ago when Albert and I, we had just married, and when I said the bicycle tie, I brought that memory back. And we were sitting in the car and we're saying that, well, you know, we'll buy our first car very soon, And one of our parents was sitting down, the person was smiling and laughing. And I was like, man, dream, we have to dream, yeah. But how are we going to accomplish that dream? The first thing you have to do is aspect the dream that you have. What is the first strategy that you have to do? What do I need? In fact, in our case, we needed at first to identify what car we wanted. So that's the first stage. So in our case, we have to identify the car in the first place. And then think whether the money involved is something that we can come up with. How are we going to get that money? Definitely, stealing is out of the question. We have to work, and that implies that we have to find a job that can pay us that particular amount of money regularly, and we have to save. So those are 3 things we had to do to ensure that we could buy our first car. So your objectives that you identified, objective 1. How would you accomplish that? What do you need to actually accomplish objective 1? Who do you need? So when I was coming, as I was thinking through this process, I was thinking that this year, I have some people, strategic people I have to connect with. So in 2, I write down that for objective 1, to accomplish that, I have to go connect with, let's say, Salome. That's for objective 1. However, objective 2, I don't need Salome. I need Naklode. Right? So every objective, what I want to accomplish, who do I need to accomplish that with? Some of them you will not need anybody. Praise the Lord. That means that the thing is totally in your control. So that one, you know how to now plan for you because you are in charge totally, okay? And some of them, you need the person. So who do I need or what do I need? What are the positive developments that would enable us to achieve our dreams? So for instance, in our case, I got a job that paid X amount. So I said, if I didn't have that job, I didn't have that extra income, I'll still be able to live. So once I get that income, every amount that comes from that particular income source, I don't touch. I put that aside towards the objective of getting the car. So you too, what are the opportunities that would come? What are the threats? Every program, there are things that can, sideline you. You remember in the building our first homes. Remember they talked about pitfalls. So you have bought the land and you didn't do the due diligence of finding out if the land that you went to buy indeed belongs to that person. You are ready to go ahead. And then when you start bringing your things to the site, they say, no, it's not your land. It belongs to someone else. So that's the pitfalls. What are the threats? You look out for those threats and mitigate them by making sure that this particular land does belong to the person who sold it to me. I can get my permit. That's one question I have. Why does it take so long to get our permits? Anyway, so you answer it. That's one of the questions I have for you. I'll get my permit when I need it, and I'll be able to build my building. Now, we were buying a car, so part of the things that I have to guard against is I have to now wake up. If I used to wake up at let's say 6 o'clock, in order to do that extra income job, I now have to wake up at 4 o'clock. That is where, as they say, the rubber meets the road. Because we have nice dreams here, don't we? Very nice. I mean, were you writing down? Were you writing down the things? Were you writing? I need to see somebody nodding. Oh, it's not for me. You were writing down the thing. Fantastic. You're writing it down. Fantastic. So it's a nice idea. But when we come to the habits and routines that we have to do in order to achieve that dream, what are they? Are we willing to start on that journey? So what new habits do I have to cultivate? So if the habit implies that now I have to be reading, let's say, at least 30 minutes daily. I hadn't been reading previously because as per my broadcast journalist dream, I should improve the way I structure my language. So that's, I know, would come from reading. And the reading implies not just reading konkonsa. It means reading material that will give me new information. So 30 minutes, I have to wake up now at 4:30 instead of a normal 6 o'clock and start reading and making notes. So in your dream too, what do I have to do? Those of us going to do our exams, what new habits do we have to start cultivating to enable us reach our dream? For instance, somebody who wants to be a writer will have to set aside time for reflection. What am I going to write about? How do I convey what I'm writing about? And so on and so forth. Okay? So find out about those new routines and habits. And then finally, which is not here, find somebody who would hold you accountable. Because sometimes when we put in the nice dreams and so on and so forth, because it's between me and the paper, and I go and put the paper somewhere and I don't look at it again. 5 years, I say, I remember I said I wanted to do something. Oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. So find yourself an accountability partner. Somebody who will say, you said you would do this. Have you done it? I've embarked on a new project, and I have 2 accountability partners. One is in South Africa, the other one is in Lesotho. This week, the 2 of them have called me, and I can't pick up the call because I haven't done my side of what I said I will do. But I know I can't ignore their calls forever either. So because I need to get back to them, guess what? When I go back to Accra, I'm sitting down and writing what I'm supposed to write. And I'll call them, I say, oh, Charlie, how? Because they are holding me accountable. So your dreams, your goals, your vision, find someone that you will say, hold me responsible to achieve this particular goal, this particular objective, objective 1, objective 2, objective 3. Hold me accountable. Let me find somebody who would help me. And that would enable you reach the goal that you intend for yourself. I hope I've been able to help you in crafting your career. And by the way, this is not just for the career. In all these goals, use this framework. What do I seek to do? When am I seeking to get it? What are the actions? What actions do I need to take? Who do I have to see? And write it down. If you take this workbook very seriously, as we pray you would, and you write it down, 5 years' time, no, not 5, every year, look at it and say, how am I going along this journey? And craft the journey for the next year. And by the time that you will be standing here with Shaibu saying that this is what I've been able to accomplish, and now you would have 300. I'll come and see. He's a very powerful man. Thank you, and God richly bless you.
Thank you very much, Comfort Okran. So from 10 years or 10 years from now, where do you want to see yourself? What do you want to be? So you have the book. Please make sure that you take some time off and fill it. If when Comfort was talking of doing her presentation, you did not fill the form, please kindly fill the book so that it would help you to know what you would want to be or where you would want to get to 10 years from now. We are live on Facebook as Albert N.E. Okran. So you can go live on Albert's Facebook page and share the live feed on Facebook. It's also on Comfort Okran A. So if you go on Comfort Okran A on Facebook, you can also share our live Facebook feed as well. Tag some friends, tell them to join the Springboard Roadshow 2020 live from the CCC. And would like to acknowledge our sponsors before we take the TVCs. MTN has got some special airtime to give away as well. Well, so if you were late, it means that you missed our first giveaway from MTN. And if you're seated here right now, pause today, no one MTN, and I'm a pause, unya data, unya airtime. I enjoy pause, *567#. Now with them, delay bia, and your fans are called *138, *567# there. Easy, you get your data, you get your airtime. So if it is 10 Ghana cedis you have, and you want to bundle, you can split it to get your airtime and get your data as well. If it is 20 Ghana cedis, you get your airtime, you get your data. If you think that you use a lot of data and you want to use all that airtime for your data or your airtime, just go ahead. So MTN, we're going to give out some airtime, kind courtesy MTN, our proud sponsor. So if you are ready, let's start. Well, let me be fair. Some people are coming in to take their seat. Once they take their seat, I'll share the data from MTN. But kindly download the app if you haven't downloaded. If you haven't downloaded and installed the Enterprise and UMB mobile app onto your mobile phone, kindly do so now. Go to your App Store or Play Store and click on the Enterprise and UMB mobile app. Download it onto your mobile phone. It will give you that opportunity to win that grand prize when we hit our wow moment. And you know, our grand wow moment is always a time where people like Matilda have that opportunity to have a life-changing stories and they share with us right here on Springboard. So kindly download that app right now if you haven't downloaded it yet. So I'd like to say a big thank you to MTN, MTN Pulse, Just Be, UMB Bank, UMB, Digibank, Let's Go. Enterprise Group, Enterprise Your Advantage. A big thank you to Graphic Communications Group Limited, Joy FM, and the Multimedia Group, Yep Cleaning Services, and York's Rent a Car, YFM in Kumasi, of course, which NY is a proud host of the Rise and the White Rise and Shine. So in the mornings, he's always on radio. You can tune in and listen to him. We say Aiko to YFM. So if we're ready to win airtime from MTN, let's go. You know what to do? The numbers, I always like to start from the back. Oh, say me I'm here in charge. Anna, I start from where? You start the middle. That's why I cry is not fair. I start from the front. Okay, I'll start from the front then. 4376 855 158 1732. Did you get that? And who won? Oh, come, sweetheart, come and share with us. The ladies are winning. I like it. Give her a big round of applause as she comes. Come. How much airtime have you won right now from MTN? 5 Ghana cedis. Good birthday. Hey, you do have 5 cedis to buy airtime right now. MTN has given you 5 Ghana cedis airtime. You're saying, Okay, let me give a 10 or 20 cedis airtime out right now. You don't want, you're saying, shh. Okay, let's go. 5622 5330 2 1931, and guess the last number. Oh, the last number, if you add 1 and 1, what do you get? That's the last number. What is The last number, you add two different numbers. 1 plus 1 is what? Who got it? Nobody. Who need fast fingers? Okay, let me go over again. 5622 5330 219312. So tell us who won it. Lady again. If a lady wins, it means today a lady will win a grand wow moment. Lady won. Is it a lady? Nobody. That's not possible. Where's Susuna Sopano? Who won? If I keep this one, I'll use it too. I can use it. Okay, let me start from the back. 2139120335226 It's that simple. Once you get it, we're getting ready for our TVCs, and then we'll get set for our colloquium. If you want it, let me know. Technical, if you're ready, can we have our TVC showing, please?
Guys, let's get ready to go. You people, you know grandma and her British time. I'll leave you all. I'll leave you. Honey. That's true.
Connect your home and business to amazing content no matter where you are with the MTN TurboNet router and stay connected to the things that matter most only on Ghana's fastest network. We day for you everywhere you go.
Your smartphone is just a phone until you have the Advantage app. This is your power to know more and do more. With a few instructions and a tap to send, you will be sorted out within minutes. Take advantage of our app. Buy a policy from any of our subsidiaries, request for a quote, make a claim, and check your statement. What's more, you can also get health tips, traffic information, and find garages and more. Download the Advantage app on Google Play and Apple Store now. Take Advantage. Here's to over 95 years of trust.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Okay, thank you very much. And to join me right here for our next session, that's our colloquium, is no other person than Comfort Okran. Please give Comfort a hand while she comes up here. Comfort Okran. It's going to be an all-women affair, and I'm excited about that. Joanna Kwakwa, please join us as well. Give her a hand. And then finally, we have Mrs. Ajoaba Obey, who is the Acting General Manager, MTN Northern Sector. Please, let's give her a big round of applause. Those of you here, you're not clapping, no. Thank you very much. Don't forget that you can send your questions, your comments to the Springboard WhatsApp line, which is very, very simple. I'm sure technical will be projecting. 024-9999-555. So you can join us. Your questions will be answered as we go on with our colloquium. I must say a big welcome. Good afternoon, Mrs. Ajram. Good afternoon, Joanne. And good afternoon, Comfort. Okay. So let's start with MTN. Yes. A great pleasure to have you, Mrs. Ajoaba Obey. And we're talking about the main theme for Springboard. We're talking about us planning for our future, young men and women planning for our future, the need for us to plan for a future. I'm sure that when you were young like us, you definitely planned for your future. What are some of the things that you did personally to say, that you can confidently say, that has brought you this far as an individual?
Thank you, Na. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. And I think for me, what is very critical, even before I go on to answer this question, is for all of you sitting here to recognize the fact that you have this huge opportunity and you can't fail. In our days, we didn't have anything like this. So if you have this, like the good book says, buy the truth and sell it not. Stick to what you are learning and make sure you take good advantage of it. For me, the interesting bit is I set out to say that I want to be a medical doctor. Along the line, I realized that I had a serious phobia for blood. And so clearly that was a no. Being raised by two strong teachers, I realized I had a passion to teach. However, along the line, I realized it's not also teaching. So how do I streamline things? Then I realized I had a passion for service, anytime, anywhere I found myself, and for people. And so I reoriented my thinking, and the first thing was to seek proper guidance and counseling to know who can help shape my ideas better. And so found the right people, which in our day would say mentors, to help guide me through the process. So the interesting bit is that I didn't set out to learn pure, let's say, customer service. but along the line it came through. Then I realized little bits of all the things I had passion to do also fell in line. But most importantly was getting somebody to guide me.
So you had parents who guided you as well, as far as your career path is concerned?
I guess it was a mix.
A mix.
They contributed, and also people in church and outside of church.
Great. Joanne, let me come to you. You are into property designs and other stuff, and you spoke very passionately about what you do. Was it something that you really wanted to do from childhood? Was that the career path you chose for yourself, or it just happened? Or someone introduced you to it and you fell in love with it?
Well, it's a bit interesting because I always refer to this incident when I was much younger, probably around 7 or 8 years old. And I remember one of our aunties came to visit, and she had a lot of gray hair, and every time she came, she wanted us to put our little hands in her hair to scratch her scalp. And I remember, so there would always be about 3 or 4 of us around her, around the back, just playing with her scalp. She said, so I remember once we were doing, and she touched and said, Juan and Sengi, whose hand is this? This person is really good. And I said it was me. And she asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, hairdresser. Because that has always been my passion.
Were you really serious about that?
I was serious. I loved hair. I still love hair. And what turned it for me was my mom was there and my auntie were there, and they were incensed that I would want to be a hairdresser. How dare I say I want to be a hairdresser?
I'm tempted to ask you how many years ago, because back then if you mention hairdresser, everybody would think that there's something wrong.
In the 70s.
In the 70s, and you wanted to be a hairdresser.
Yeah. So I was young. I loved hair, everything about hair. I still do. But I never saw myself, for me, it was what I loved doing. I've always been one that loves creating, loves putting things together, loves seeing how things go together. And I felt if I was going to be a hairdresser, I would be the kind that Beyonce would fly out because I was that good. I wasn't just going to be some corner hairdresser. So my dilemma has always been to figure out which aspect of the creative arts to stick with, because I'm interested in fashion, shoe design, jewelry design, so I call myself a designer. At this moment, I'm trained as an interior architect. But really and truly, if you're a creative and you're a designer, you design, that's what you do. So I chose interior architecture when I was moving back here because I was thinking of what was practical and what I could make impact with. It was either that or fashion. And I felt everybody does fashion. But really, if I want to have impact, maybe the built environment, I'll be able to do that more. And that's how I ended up on it. But really, my interest is across the board within the creative sector.
Would you say it has been very fulfilling?
It's been fulfilling for me because I've done what comes to me and what I want to do. I've never been one to let anyone tell me what I should do. So, for instance, when we were in secondary school and we had to choose our subjects, I remember my mom saying, "Oh, do you want to do science?" Just because I could do it didn't mean I was going to do it. I wasn't interested in it. So my thing was, what am I interested in? If I'm not interested in it, I will get distracted in class. I will find something to entertain myself, make everybody laugh or something. So it's better you put me somewhere where I'll be engaged. And for me, it was the creative arts. But yeah, it's been fulfilling because for me, I've been doing what comes to me naturally and what I'm interested in.
Thank you very much, Joanne. And I know Comfort is a people-raising person. Yes, she loves to raise people. And so I am going to ask Comfort this question straight from Abdul Rashid Kumasi. And Abdul says, how do I find myself an accountability partner? I'm sure he was listening. How does he find himself an accountability partner?
Abdul, finding yourself as an accountability partner is quite simple, but also very important in terms of the fact that you must find somebody who believes where you want to go. So the first thing for you to appoint somebody, say you're supposed to be with me, will the person believe in where you are going? That's number one. The second thing is that if there's somebody who is going there as well, it makes it easier. Because this is somebody who is also traveling on that journey. So this is somebody who is also building his career in a particular field, or somebody who is also wants to build his or her own house. So then if you say, okay, let's build our houses together. I've been able to buy 5 bags of cement today. How many did you do? I've been able to buy, so then that way you go along the journey together. It's like how maybe if somebody here wants to maybe lose weight and you go and look for somebody who is also going to the gym with you. So the person is there with you side by side and you connect together. So that's how you find yourself an accountability partner, somebody who believes in you and somebody who is either on the journey with you or somebody who has been there and therefore can encourage you as you go along on your journey.
Comfort, I'm going to stay with you a little longer because you talked about personal development, developing our careers as far as the next 10 years is concerned. So Johnson, who is watching us in Kumasi, says, following a personal development plan over time, especially a long-term plan, is quite difficult. Mrs. Comfort Okran, could you please share with us what you put into following your plan keenly to accomplish it? And if any of your panelists would also want to share theirs as well.
Fantastic, and that is a great question, I must add. He's very right, because it's because it's a long-term journey. Sometimes you tend to lose focus. But what helps is that after you've done the 10-year thing, you now take 1 year and say, okay, what are the big blocks I want to accomplish in the year? I always say that it's like how if I'm coming to Kumasi, I'll say that, oh, I need to come to Kumasi, so I need to make sure that I'll see someone on the road. I'll see, after someone, I have to see Linda Door. You know, from Linda Door, I come to Enyinem, then I know I'm almost in Kumasi. So you set what would be the roadblocks on that career path. So for instance, if I want to be like, she found out that she didn't like blood. But if I want to be the doctor, at least I have to pass my SHS. Then from there, I have to go I have to get to medical school. If I don't get to medical school, definitely I'm not going on the doctoral medical path. Maybe because I may not have done very well, so I didn't get to the medical school, but maybe I got the pharmacy school. It's still close enough. This is still what I want to do. So first you set the roadblocks or the landmarks, not roadblocks, landmarks. After setting the landmarks, then you say the year. Then you say, okay, this month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what so January I should be able to finish this, February 2, and so. And then you come to the week. Sometimes when we see how detailed that thing is, we give up. And I want to urge you, please don't give up. Take your time and write down that detailed planning and say, this week I'll learn just the part of the foot. That's all that I'll learn. So all the bones, if I remember right, I think that's the place which has most bones. And so that one, you may take 2 weeks to learn that part. And then you will take just a week to learn just the tumor and the fiber and the whatever. You know, my small science that I did, you know. So you take your time and say, okay, I need to learn all these bones. I need to, so by the end of June, I should learn all the skeletal stuff. By the end of July, I'll finish the nervous system. By the end of the year, if you give me any part of the human body, as an aspiring medical doctor, I should be complete in that. Sometimes you may have time frames because you may have to have a medical exam, which will not wait till the end of the year. So you learn in line with that kind of timelines as well. So yes, it's possible to achieve that. It's possible by taking your time to frame that. So all you are now doing is just following what you said you would accomplish. If I borrow from the building sector, when you are going to build your house, you would have a plan that this is how the thing would look like. And then they'll take room by room and say, this is how we'll design this room. And then she would even come and say, when I finish designing this room, this is how it will feel. So then, when you go down to the granular level, you are able to actually see the building come up, and that building is your life.
Thank you, Comfort. Well, Mrs. Ajwa Obeng talked about role models shaping her career path. And Kwabnat from Kumasi wants to know, he says, how would you select your role models? Is it compulsory to get someone you know or someone you are looking up to?
I guess it ties in with what Comfort just explained. The identification to pick as a role model is very critical, quite apart from the fact that the person also believes in you. It's what I always say, that get somebody who, when you are going off track, can be bold enough, look into your face and tell you, this is not the path we agree, this is not the way to go. So that is very critical. Having somebody who can be very firm with you and to also tell you when it's wrong, not to try to massage issues with you. Also important, so I personally feel when you have somebody you know, it helps, because then once there's a relationship, it helps you open up. You don't become cagey. You're able to share the challenges as it is, because along the path when you're building a career, it's not easy. And you need people to hold your hands, people who can encourage you, people you have relationships to be able to open up and share deep things with. So that is also very critical.
Great. I'm going to direct this question to Joanna. Brobe Paul, a student of KNUST, says, from the various seminars given, I have realized that it does not matter where I am now, but what I can do. And he says, I'm currently offering architecture, yet I don't have passion for it. I love to study economics. So my question is, should I stop architecture and study economics? Or probably he should just continue with architecture. He doesn't love it, but he finds himself in an architecture classroom. What does he do? Or what should he do?
Okay, so I'm going to take my approach that I usually take to this, which is to give you a process to make the decision yourself, because I can't make that decision for you. I think with anything that we do in life, the first thing we've got to be clear about is our why. Why are we doing it? Why are we willing to invest time in it, or why are we not willing to invest time in it? So if you're clear on your why, then in the times when there's no inspiration, if your why is clear and it's a must-have, you will find the energy and the focus and everything within you to accomplish that goal. The other thing I would like to say as well is, it kind of relates to the first question about when you have a long-term goal, how to accomplish it. You've got to pace yourself. A lot of times we put pressure on ourselves because we are comparing ourselves to others and we're thinking, this person's gone that far ahead, why am I left behind? I went back to study interior architecture as an adult, as a mature student. I was in my 30s, and when we got done and graduated, I was one of the last ones to get a job. But I actually got a job that suited me perfectly. And when I went into that job, my boss was 10 years younger than me. But it didn't matter to me. I knew why I was there. I needed the experience within a certain time to be able to come to Ghana within a certain time and set up. So that is what kept me going. Luckily, he was a good boss. He was friendly, he was nice, he trained me. So everything I did there had a 3-year goal time span attached to it. I needed to acquire a certain amount of information. So in terms of whether you should do architecture or economics, I think you've answered yourself in the question. So it's not my place to tell you what to do. I don't know the full picture of what your circumstances are, but for me, I've worked in IT, I've worked in different fields, but I've always known that I will always come back to design because that's where my heart is. I may go off sometimes because I want to learn something new, but at the core, I will always come back to something creative. So I think he would know the answer.
Great. Mrs. Obeng, want to add up?
Maybe just to add a bit to what Joanne just shared. The truth of the matter is, like during her presentation, life is like a jigsaw puzzle. Eventually, they all fit in perfectly at the right time. Today you may be doing architecture, and what's the use for it if I want to do economics? But you can be sure that along the path, most of the things that you are learning today, you still need it. I'm sure when we go into detail with Joanne, she will tell us that, well, when I was doing that, I didn't have passion, but eventually, everything else comes back, and then it tailors into what you eventually want to do. So don't give up, keep pursuing it, I would say. But like she said, the decision still rests with you. But you would recognize that most of the learning you are doing now will eventually be useful when you branch into economics.
Okay, I'm going to ask that we keep some of our answers very short because we have a lot more questions coming in so we can answer as many as we can. Lydia is asking, and she wants to ask Mrs. Obeng of MTN, what does the panel look for when selecting fresh graduates to work in organizations like MTN? I like the smile.
Very true. Hello? I guess that over time, we become more focused on behaviors than just academic work. So we encourage, even along the line, that don't just do academic work. You have short holidays, take advantage, do things like internship or sessions as we are having even now. They all help shape you to become a better person. When we are hiring people, I say that it's quite easy to train people for skills, but when it comes to attitude, it's more of you. We hire attitude fundamentally, and then we hire excellence. We don't say that we take the academic bit out. You need to have the right qualifications to be able to enter in even for shortlisting and even an interview. So the academic bit is very, very important. Quite critical for us is behaviors. So if you come to MTN, for example, apart from everything that we do, we tie ourselves to what we call our values and our behaviors. And these behaviors, we believe, the culture of the kind of people we want to bring up.
Thank you. I'm going to ask John two questions from two different people, but they're all centered on acquiring a property. So Hanafi from Kumasi says, as a young man who is yet to acquire a property, what advice would you give me in terms of a home from your years of experience? That should I build or buy? It's one of the conversations we had on Facebook, Albert. And then Nana from Adenta says, is it profitable to take a mortgage to buy a house for the sole purpose of renting it?
That will go to a finance person. But I can help you on the first one. The first one was about, what was it?
Buying a house.
Whether to buy or build. I think I gave you the criteria to figure out what works for you. So there are so many factors you have to pay attention to or to consider to arrive at that decision. You're going to ask about your budget, what your timelines are, and I think there were a couple of other things as well. So again, you've got to know your circumstances, and the terrain here is different. If you want to build, you're going to have to purchase land yourself. That comes with its own issues. If you're going to buy from an individual or you're going to buy from a company, I would say it's probably relatively safer to buy from a reputable company that has gone through the work of actually doing all the paperwork for ownership and all the legal work to prove that the land is owned. That's the biggest concern now. In Ghana, I think the biggest thing is about land. Once you've got your land, the budget is really up to you and what you're trying to build. So some people want convenience. They don't want to have to go through the hassle of building, so they'll rather just buy off plan. It has its pros and cons. When you build to suit you and your lifestyle. When you buy off plan, you have to fit into what that design is. So you've got to consider that.
And for someone who has just completed school, which will be the best advice? Renting an apartment or starting to build?
How much money do you have?
Well, that's someone's question. It says
how much money
with a minimum wage that he or she has.
It depends which part of the country, the rental, because I can tell you, I was talking to somebody earlier, the lower end of the market where we need affordable rent, it's not there. And when it's there, it's not good quality. The quality of the build at the lower end of the market is not good. So you may pay for it, but you won't get value for money. So really, you've got to look at your circumstances and what's important to you. I'm trying to keep my answer short.
And to comfort, Irene Heathcote says, whilst filling the booklet, I realized that I don't have anything unique about myself. How do I know? Something unique about herself. I'm sure at a point they said that every one of us, yes, has something special, unique. Yeah. She says she realized she doesn't have. So how can she figure that out?
It's because you've not figured it out, but there's something unique about you. So that you've not figured it out. So the first thing that you have to do is to, when you have time, reflect. What are the things that you really like to do? What are the things that get on your nerves that if you do something to somebody, the person does it? And whose pain do you feel? And when you feel that pain, how do you help to alleviate that pain? And most importantly, what do you do that comes so naturally, so something that others will struggle, you will find it just easy to do it. For instance, Joanna was just sharing with us that she designed, anywhere that she goes, she has to she has to do something that puts some artistic feel in that. So that is her unique space. So you too, as an individual, young lady or young gentleman, what makes you unique? And you discover that by sitting down and writing. Nobody can show you. You would have to write what makes you unique. And then seeing all these qualities, if you put it together, you say, okay, for instance, and you keep on discovering parts of yourself as you go along. So please take your time and write what makes you really happy, what makes you sad, whose pain do you feel you have to help, and you be on your way. Thank you.
Okay. FJ in Kumasi wants to ask, he says, in a world where we prioritize short-term goals over long-term goals, how do I find the right field, since our desires often fluctuate? How does he prioritize his goals, where we prioritize short-term goals over long-term goals? Any of the panelists can answer. Maybe Mrs. Obeng would want to help us.
Prioritization, importance then comes in. What do you recognize as something that is so important? If I don't get it done in the next month, in the next 3 months, next year, will be a disaster. So you look at it from that way, and then you do maybe a list of priorities. So which one would you rank as number one that needs to be done urgently, that within a certain time frame, if I haven't completed that, it has serious consequences? And then you can space it out, as Comfort's explained. You make more like blocks. So within this period, I need to do this. And I believe that you do not necessarily have to have just one goal. You can have multiple goals, but what is key is how you structure it eventually.
Okay. Benny KNUST wants to ask how she can deal with a situation where you are prepared in other things to follow your passion, but you're financially unstable to follow it. So there's a big passion that you have. For instance, I want to do dog business. But yes, dog business. I love dogs. Yes. So I have a few, but I'm thinking of having full pedigree dogs because they sell. That's where you can make your money. But I may not have that huge money to get the full pedigree dogs. What do I do? That's a question, sort of. Comfort.
Right. I think we should borrow a leaf from bee farmer. He said that when he came to KNUST, he had absolutely nothing. He had zero. But he knew what he wanted, and he was willing to pay the price. Sometimes young people are not willing to pay the price. They just want to enjoy. Pay the price. If the price involves going to sweep the gutter to get 20 pesos and putting that 20 pesos to get, aside little by little to build that the base that you require, do it that way. And so paying the price is important. It's also important to be patient, because we cannot start from 0 and get to 100 overnight. There's no way a nursery student can become a PhD holder. It's not possible. There's a process, there's a structure. We have to pay the price, be patient, and work at it. So you have a big dream. Your dream is to have a multi-billion complex, but be willing to start with one block. And don't despise that one block that you say, this thing, when can I reach where I'm going? No, pay the price and you get to where you want to go. Thank you.
And this will be our last and final question. Sylvester of KNUST says, education fails to teach us a lot of things apart from learning how to speak and write. In this world, you can do whatever you want to do and whatever you want to become. So tell us if I have mastered my special abilities in order to start my own company. Can I quit college as I see it as wasting of time?
Partially, he seems to be right, because typically for the kind of learning we have in school, with the kind of learning we do in school, the balance between the real world, that's the working life, and then academia seems to be lost a little. So there's that tendency to think that, is it worth still continuing? But it is. Because at one point in time, you still need that knowledge. Indeed, if you have the grace of going to school and yourself some education, there are some places you need to go. If you are doing your business, you need some knowledge in basic banking to be able to know, if I'm taking this loan, how do I work the math to see the profitability in it? So the education is still very, very critical. You can't take it out. The bit I always encourage the young ones, you also need sanctified common sense, if I should put it that way. And that you cannot find typically in the four walls of the classroom. So that's where you take advantage to sit under people's feet, to learn out of the norm, to learn the informal ways, so you can still add on to what you are learning in school.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Obey. Okay, so my technical team, they're asking me to ask this very last one. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, so it says, I actually share in your story because growing up, my teachers wanted me to read science in senior high in order to be a medical doctor in future. They, however, felt disappointed when I went in for visual arts, which I had much passion for. Now I'm a final year architecture student and would like to know what your greatest challenge after architecture school was and how you went about it. So that will be the last, and I mean last, question.
My greatest challenge? Wow. I think really that's a difficult question for me to answer, because for me, everything boils down to my approach to finding solutions. So it may be a great challenge, but it doesn't stop me. What I would say is equip yourself to be able to to move forward regardless of what's in front of you. So I can't really pick anything. Okay, I could say relocating here and starting over, not knowing anyone, and really starting my own consultancy and trying to find clients. But all my clients have been by referral. I don't really advertise per se. Probably not, business people will say that's not the right thing to say, but so my greatest challenge here, I know now, is dealing with the artisans here. And I'll leave it at that. Ghanaian artisans.
Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give them a hand. Big round of applause. Comfort Okran, Joanna Kwakwa, Mrs. Ajwa Bar Obeng, Acting General Manager, MTN Northeast Sector. Give them a big round of applause once again. And I'm sure that we've all been inspired. We're going out to the world to impact our world. And of course, he says now he's not my son, he's my brother. Yes, NYDJ will take over right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Now, please, a round of applause for her again, and to our speakers as well. Very inspirational, and that's that. So, we've been sitting for quite a long time now. We're going to have a break. I mean, we are going to have a networking session, get to network, talk to other people, learn. This is the time you meet all the big people, talk to them, make friends, and who knows, anything could happen from that. That's going to be for like 40 minutes. We have that time. Now, when we are back from that, we are going to have a short presentation. There's going to be a musical interlude. And of course, we're going to have the keynote. We still have some airtime to give away. Oh, amazing. Amazing grace. Oh, I know how to sing. All right, so we're going to have our keynote presentation, when we are back from the break. And again, we are going to have our grand wow moment. To my extreme left, I can see a box there, and I can see some MTN packages. Is the car also out there? Oh, okay. I'm sure our crowd is actually scared. It's like, wow, that's the wow moment, actually. So please pick up your phones right now. Let me give you this before we go for our networking break. Pick up your phones. If you're on MTN, what do you dial first? Star 138 or? That's for data. So are we now in? Okay, star, do it. I know people have dialed star, star and hash. Let's do it. 56225330219312. That's as quick as we can do it. Did anybody get it? Okay, let me do the final one. The final one. Did anybody get it? Don't worry, I'll keep it. I'll try it when I go sit down. Let's do this. 98-688-512-626069. Okay. So with that, we can now break into our networking session. Let's go for 40 minutes. Please step out. Okay, let's do 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Yeah, so by 2:54 we are back. Please, by 2:54 we are back. So you can now step out, go walk a bit, and then have your networking sessions go on. For those of you who fill the wow moment coupons, please drop it in the ushers are around. Yes, you can see them with a bowl. Just make sure you drop it in. They are within us as well. Just drop it in so you're able to win. Thank you very much. So for now, we can step out and network. Make sure you do the best. Thank you.
I'll leave you all.
All right, so for those from the senior high schools, Mommy would want to meet you, so you gather to my right. Okay, so just where you are to my right, you just make sure you gather there so she's able to have a word with you. But for all others, you can break into it now.
Guys, let's get ready to go. You people, you know grandma and her British time. I'll leave you all. I'll leave you. Honey. That's true.
Connect your home and business to amazing content no matter where you are with the MTN TurboNet router and stay connected to the things that matter most only on Ghana's fastest network. We day for you everywhere you go.
Abrabo, you were late yesterday and today too you are late. What is wrong with you?
Kat, my wife is standing outside there. She needs money.
Everybody does not take it in Remu. Until when you're that Jane, you will. Some other phone may push your phone, yes, Kaya Bibia. Me, you and me speed up, Nedi Buamino. You may be able to say contact singles. It is our UMB account. Now, when we contact Sodia, meet me, Manu Sika, baby, Bia, Mimra, cry. No, I'm not saying with your boss or nothing. Namidia Mia. Cecia, dear, mean chinchins, some
Hello, can you hear me?
Me to me be salon. Minyansi, UMB.
What school are you from? Kumasi Academy. Oh, okay, sorry. Me, I'm from Accra, so I don't know these things. And you in the nice uniforms there too. Where are you from? Yes, Santua girls. Oh, okay. Okay. So this one is mixed then. Why aren't you sitting too far? You're okay there. Okay, then I'll stand in the